Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Stevie. This is Stevie Reads, and today we are doing a very exciting video talking about all of the books that I am in the middle of. I'm in a lot of different series, but these are the ones where I want to continue on, or I'm not all the way caught up yet and I need to keep reading. So there's also a lot of series where I've started it and for one reason or another I'm not going to be continuing, but that's not what this video is going to be today. I feel like that's a whole nother one of itself of like series that I've DNF'd. I could do a video on that, but this is the one I'm in the middle of and what I'm, going to be reading, what I want to be reading and finishing. And yeah, I'm going to start from the very beginning on like the earliest series that I've started and am reading. That is the premise of this video, and we will just start. We're going to start with the Wayward Children series by Seanan McGuire. So I started this, I believe, in 2019 or 2020. The last time I read this series was Come Tumbling Down, and that was a couple years ago. So it's not very fresh in my brain, and I am dreading that I think I need to reread from the beginning. But this is a young adult series about multiple different characters, wayward children who fall into these doors and that takes them to different worlds, and it's very interesting. It has a lot of good commentary and a lot of representation for all of these children, but it is just one that I haven't picked up in a while and I'm kind of sad about it. I do absolutely love Seanan McGuire, but I think I have to start from the beginning again. But they're so tiny, it's worth it, and I do want to do that. So next up is the Saga series. So I have volumes 1 through 10, that's all that's come out, but 10 actually just came out very, very recently, I believe like last year. And I read the first 9 volumes back to back, again, I think in like 2020 or maybe late 2020, early 21. And these are so good. I have such a good time with this comic series. Only comic series that I've liked, which is surprising, but it's the only one that I own. And I read the first 9 volumes, and all I remember is that volume 9 ended crazy. Like, this ending was insane, but I can't remember what it was. That's a terrible thing about having such a bad memory when you love and, consume a bunch of series, is I'm gonna have to reread again these first 9 volumes to read volume 10, but it's going to be so worth it. And again, they're so small that it'll be quick to read. This might be a video where I read all 10 of these volumes. This is like a space opera. I don't think I'm going to give synopsises in this video, otherwise it's going to be an hour long. So obviously I could just read the last couple of pages of volume 9 to like remember what the big cliffhanger was, but I'm not going to remember all of the little details of the story, and volume 10 just won't have that same feeling as if I just reread from the beginning and finished it. I think volume 10 is the last in the series, hopefully. So that'd be cool. Start from the beginning, read the new volume that I haven't read, and like finish the series. So that's my goal, but yeah, I just don't really remember what it was that was so crazy, but I just remember I finished this and I was like, why isn't volume 10 out? And I was so mad about it, and now volume 10 is out, so I just really want to read it. Next up is Ninth House and Hellbent. So I've read Ninth House. I loved it. I gave this 5 stars. Really, really good. And Hellbent came out last year and I haven't read it. Again, it's another situation where I need to reread the first one. I do remember the ending, but I read this when I didn't annotate, and now I do, and I just want to annotate this one when I read it, so I want to reread this one and annotate it. A lot of rereading. I'm completely fine with that because I love rereading. But adult fantasy series by Leigh Bardugo. Haven't heard the best things about this, but Ninth House was also really controversial and I loved it, so I do want to reread it and read Hellbent. These are giving October vibes since it's like dark academia, so maybe this fall is when I'll finally reread Ninth House and read Hellbent. I don't know if this next book counts, but I haven't read The Stolen Heir by Holly Black yet, and I did read the Cruel Prince trilogy, and I read this little like novella, The King of Elfame. This was actually really cute. It was like an illustrated short story collection, which I thought was adorable, but Read the Cruel Prince trilogy, absolutely love it. And The Stolen Heir came out. This is set in the same world with a character that we met in the first trilogy. So I do want to read this. I don't know if this counts because it's a spin-off series, but figured I'd mention it really quick. I need to read The Stolen Heir because I love the Cruel Prince trilogy. So obviously I want to continue on in Holly Black's little fairy world. Next up, we have The Lies of Lamora by Scott Lynch. I don't know the name of this series, but that is the title of the first book. These two books, The Lies of Lamora and The Red Seas Under Red Skies, both of these were so amazing. 5 stars, absolutely loved them. I did read The Republic of Thieves and I gave it 2 stars. So I'm a little bit apprehensive on continuing in the series. The 4th book hasn't even come out yet, so I guess I have some time to decide before the 4th book comes out, but this was not a winner for me. So I'm caught up on the series, but the series isn't completed and I don't know if I want to continue. Absolute gems. The friendship in these books, Locke and Jean, are so good. They're like brothers and it is just an amazing story between these little thieves. Honestly, I really recommend these two, but The Republic of Thieves was just not it for me. 2 stars. So I don't know. This might be DNFing. I'm putting it on this list because I'm just undecided about it. So if you read this series, let me know if you're going to read the 4th one or what you're thinking. Scott Lynch. We will see. Next up is House of Earth and Blood or Crescent City. So read this first one. This was 4 stars. But again, just like the last series, the sequel was not a hit for me. House of Sky and Breath, I gave 2 stars. So the 3rd book in the series literally just came out a couple days ago. I know the internet is frothing at their mouth for the 3rd book, but this was 2 stars for me. The only good thing was like the last chapter. I just really don't like Bryce and Hunt as characters. I love Sarah J. Maas's writing. The Throne of Glass is amazing. Obviously, I live and breathe for the ACOTAR series. I just love that series so much. So I had the highest of expectations for the Crescent City series, and this is my least favorite like world. I hate Crescent City, basically, the setting, and I really don't like Bryce and Hunt. So this one was 4 stars. It was not bad, but it wasn't a favorite, so that's kind of sad. And then I actively disliked the 2nd book, House of Sky and Breath. Like, it didn't need to be this stupid long. It didn't need to have all of these perspectives from different men. Like, it was Bryce and then like the perspective of 5 dudes. It was ridiculous. I could rant about this all day, but the 3rd book came out. I haven't bought it yet. I'm kind of waiting for the general public's opinion. Obviously, I don't want to know spoilers, but I want to see, because there's another influencer or booktuber who I watch, Reagan from Peruse Project, who has the same opinions of this book as me. She read this and gave it 2 stars, and pretty much the same reason. Like, I watched her vlog reading this and I was like, oh my god, finally somebody who thought the same things as me. So I'm kind of waiting for Reagan to read the 3rd book to see if she likes it and see if it's going to be worth like the $28 to buy this big old hardback. So this is another series I'm in the middle of, and I'm kind of debating on whether I want to continue it or not. I mean, I've read everything that Sarah J. Maas has written. I'm very skeptical for book 3 in this series. Yeah, I'm just sad that I'm not excited for the new Sarah J. Maas. Like, I want to be excited with everybody else too, but I'm just not, and I hate that. Another young adult series, since we're going in order, this is just when I was really in my young adult bag, but we have the Skyward Trilogy by Brandon Sanderson. I actually think there's a 4th book, so it's not a trilogy, but the Skyward series. I've read the first one, Skyward. I believe I gave this 4 stars. I really liked this. I thought it was a very good book to a new sci-fi series, and I just had a really good time. And I have also read Starsight, and you know, it was a good continuation, but it did make me like a little less excited to continue in the series, and I think that's why I haven't read Cytonic yet. This is the one that I own that's on my TBR, and obviously there's the 4th one that I haven't read yet either. There were some novellas to read in between Starsight and Cytonic, and I did read those novellas last year so that I could pick up Cytonic. And I read those novellas and I kind of got a little bit more of excitement for the series, but I think they were 3 stars too. Like, they weren't anything amazing for me, so I just haven't picked up Cytonic yet, and I don't know if I will. it's hard. Hopefully I'll read this year so I can continue in the series, but I'm just not reading a lot of young adult right now. And if I am, I'm reading something I'm really excited to read. So I don't know, like I might have to unhaul this, but I got the beautiful UK editions. I mean, they don't even match because the first one's a paperback, but I think these books are just gorgeous on the outside, not so much on the inside, which again just kind of sucks. And I'm sensing a theme for why I haven't continued into these series. If I didn't finish off on like a 5-star, it's hard for me to continue because I'm like, well, the last one wasn't very good. Why would I want to continue in this series? Ugh, I'm just too good at DNFing. I'm getting too good at like giving up on series. I cannot hold up this next series altogether, but the next series is going to be the Red Rising trilogy. So I've read these 3 books, annotated them, absolutely love them. But I need to continue on in the series and read Iron Gold, Dark Age, and Lightbringer. I'm so excited to read these. Now that I've read these 3 books twice, like I'm so familiar with the world and these characters, and I just want to read on and see what Darrow is up to. But I got my brother on this series recently. He's already read Red Rising and absolutely loved it, and he's reading Golden Sun right now. So I'm kind of waiting for him to catch up so that we can buddy read Iron Gold together and just kind of like be able to have somebody to talk to about it with. So I'm waiting on my brother. It's a good excuse to not have to jump right into this series again. But I do want to catch up in this series. I love Pierce Brown and his writing. All of these books are 5 stars for me. It's one of my absolute favorite series of all time, and I can't believe that there's 3 other books in the series that I own and I haven't read. They're just huge and intimidating, so we'll see. I really underestimated how much of a workout this video was going to be because all of these series are so heavy, but the next series is Lur Olympus, so I'm going to set this down. I have read the first 3 volumes. I didn't read these copies actually because you can read these books free on Webtoons. So I read them on Webtoons and I loved it. I just love Greek mythology. The art style for these books are just so gorgeous. And I don't know, I just think it's really pretty. So I read the first 3 volumes. Again, all of them were 5 stars. I really do adore this series. Now that I've read them, I need to continue on and read volumes 4 and 5 that I own. I'm just waiting until the 6th book comes out because I have it pre-ordered. So it's going to be delivered sometime in May when the book comes out. So like in 4 months. But I think I want to reread these 3 and then read volumes 4 and 5 before volume 6 comes out. So that's just going to be something I'm probably going to be doing this spring, is rereading this series from the beginning and reading the new content that I haven't read. I can't believe I have 3 books to read in this series this year that I haven't read yet. And you know, again, since they're graphic novels, it's just very easy to start from the beginning and get refreshed in the story because it's been a couple of years since I read it. So, and then I'm all caught up in this series so far. I've read volumes 1 through 5 of Heartstopper. There is going to be a 6th and final volume. I have no idea when it's coming out, hopefully next year. But whenever it comes out, I'm buying it and I'm reading it immediately. I love this series with my whole entire heart. Oh my God. Absolutely love this. So yeah, I'm caught up on all the ones I own, but whenever the 6th book comes out, me and it are having a little date night. And then we have Full Metal Alchemist. I have read volumes 1 through 5 and I own 6, 7, 8. So I have 3 that I own that I haven't read. And oh my God, so freaking heavy. But I'm gonna hold up the first one. This is a very popular anime. My husband absolutely loves this series, like the anime show. He's watched it all the way through and loves the story. So he was so happy when I like bought the first couple and I decided to read them. He's sad that I haven't continued. All the time he's like, when are you gonna read the next Full Metal Alchemist book? And I'm like, soon, I hope. But yeah, I have the beautiful Full Metal editions, which are like the hard covers, and they're not full color, but some of the pictures have color. So yeah, it is just really pretty and a fun like adventure story about these brothers, which we love. But yeah, I don't know why I haven't picked it up in a while. I haven't been reading a lot of manga, but this is when I was picking it up a lot, and that leads right into my next series, which is Spy Family. So I have all 10 volumes that are out, and I have read up to volume 8. So I just have 2 more to read in this series, and they're so quick and fun whenever I pick them up, so I'm not worried at all. I will find the time. I need to read volumes 9 and 10, and I will be all caught up in this series. I think I might stop after volume 10. I don't know if I'm gonna keep picking them up, but we'll see. Maybe this one will be a 5 stars and I'll absolutely love it, but I haven't had a 5 stars since the first volume. The first one was my favorite so far, so it's kind of been a little bit downhill. I still have a lot of fun when I pick them up and I read them, but yeah. And then next up we have Vicious and Vengeful by V.E. Schwab. So I've read all of V.E. Schwab's other books. I love The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. So I picked up Vicious in 2022, I think. So a couple years ago now. This one was 4 stars. I liked it, didn't absolutely love it, and then I never jumped into Vengeful, but I do want to read this book this year. This is like on my list of things to read because it's just a duology. It's not a lot of books to read. I've already read the first one. I own the second one, so I just need to read this. Even though this one was a 4 star, it's hard if it's not a 5 star for me to want to continue, but this was a good book. I had a lot of fun, so I just need to read Vengeful and finish this duology. But I love the editions that I got as well. I think they are beautiful. I love having them on my shelves, and I just need to get to this one. Also in 2022, I started the Awakens series by Elise Kova. I got the omnibus version. That's what these are called when it's like all of the books in one giant book. I read 4 out of the 5 books in this series. So the last one is Crystal Crowned, book 5, and that's the last one. So I do want to finish this series. It's big old omnibus. The 4th book, I read it in 2022, so all of last year I didn't finish it. Again, it's because I'm just not reading young adult, but like, it's one more book. I can do it. I can push through and finish this. This Tangled bookmark has just lived in here because I haven't read it in so long, but yeah, just the last one. I'm so freaking close. Next up, we have the Magnolia Parks series. I don't know if this series has a title, but I read Magnolia Parks. I love this book. I know it's kind of a toxic relationship. I don't even care. It was giving Chuck and Blair from Gossip Girl, all of the rich people drama. I was absolutely eating it up. This couple is terrible, but they're meant for each other in their terribleness. Like, I hate them, but I love them. 5 stars. This is like on my favorite books of all time list. I absolutely love this first one. Then I read Daisy Hates, and I gave this one a 3. This was just not as good for me, and obviously it was a different couple, so that can happen. But yeah, this one, I gave it a 3, and it just dimmed my excitement for the series, which really sucks because the 3rd book is The Long Way Home, Magnolia Parks. And this book follows the same couple from the one that I love. So like, if that book was 5 stars, I need to read this one so bad, but it's been over a year since I picked up Daisy Hates. I just wanted to love this one as much as the first one, and I didn't, but this one could be just as good. So I just really need to read The Long Way Home. Yeah, and I know a 4th one came out. I haven't bought it. It's not gonna match my self-published editions because I bought this series before it like blew up, so I have all of the self-published, but the 4th one is just not going to match with the series, and this one wasn't as good as the first one, so like, I haven't picked it up, but I still really do want to read this one. Like, it follows the same couple from a book that is on my favorites list. Why don't I fucking read it? Ugh. I don't know. I don't know why I don't read it. And I don't have the first book in this series, Mile High, but I do really need to read Caught Up. I talked about this in a video recently, so I don't want to go too much into it, but the first book, Mile High, was 4 stars. The Right Move was 5 stars. Amazing. Also on my favorite books of all time list. This book is so good, but now I need to read Caught Up and continue on in the series. I don't know if there's going to be more or if it's a trilogy. Actually, I think there is going to be a 4th book, so it's just going to keep going on. We'll see how many, like these romance series, you never know. There's always more couples to write about. You can just keep going and going and going. But yeah, need to read Caught Up, and I'm really excited to read it because The Right Move was just such a hit for me. And then this next series, I am all caught up, but there are going to be 6 books in this series, and I've read the first two. I've read The Serpent and the Wings of Night and The Ashes and the Star-Cursed King. Both of these were 4 stars. Whenever the third book comes out in this series, I'm gonna pick it up, I'm gonna read it. I like this world, and I do like Carissa Broadbent's writing, but there's going to be 6 books. I've read the first 2. Whenever the next ones come out, I'm going to be picking them up. The next series is going to be the Chestnut Spring series by Elsie Silver. I have only ever read the first book. I read Flawless. This was 4 stars. I really liked it. A nice cowboy romance. There are 5 books in the series, but I own the next 3. So I want to read Heartless and continue on. But last year I officially started it and I read the first one. So now I just want to continue reading the rest of the series. Last books on this list are going to be the 4 Horsemen series by Laura Thalassa. I've read Pestilence and I have read War. So now I just need to read Famine and Death to finish off the series and I will be all done with it. Those are all of the series that I have officially, read at least 1 book and I want to continue on. And thank you so much for watching. All of my socials are linked down below like always, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!